Welcome back to the podcast without a name. So far, right now we've decided to start back the podcast that we were doing earlier. We were doing the Anti-Contractor Home podcast. And now we're looking at shifting gears, making it a little bit more casual, a little bit less research done on our part.
And a little more personal too.
Yeah, a little more personal because, as we know, Mrs. Belinda, Mrs. or Miss?
I'm married to you, so I think it would be Mrs.
I know, but if you use your first name, would it be Miss? I know Mrs. Carr would be the right name, but that's my mom's name. So, as you are starting to get more and more prevalent on the YouTube scape,
God.
It would be nice if people got a little bit more of your personality.
Yeah.
So we're going to attempt to make this a little bit more casual. And we'll see how we do. Yeah. So what we're going to do is we're going to discuss various different topics, some about architecture, some about construction, some about home renovation.
Bring in our experiences, whether it's college experiences, not the wild college experience. I mean, like architecture.
Because you've had so many of those, I assume.
What? Wild college experiences, yeah. In conservative Dubai.
Most architects probably did not.
Probably.
Well, my wild college experience was going downstairs from the 7th or 8th floor and going to the dorms across the street and going to the convenience store and grabbing like a Big Red or something. That was the highlight of our night. Then we'd go kick the soccer ball around or something. And then get back to studio about 2 a.m. and stay there for the rest of the day and get nothing done.
Oh, we sound so lame. Well, you sound lame. I didn't do something as bad as that. Anyway, so bring in some of our architecture college experiences, our co-op experiences.
Yeah, absolutely. Just talking about the field of architecture.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if, people might not know this, but both of us are trained as architects in school. We both have our masters. Belinda has a couple of them. And you do.
A couple of masters, a couple of professional degrees.
Yeah, a couple of professional degrees.
Yeah.
But we both have masters, but we have dabbled in the architecture field a little bit, but we now both sit outside of the realm of being in an architecture firm. But architects are so well versed, in my opinion, they can do a lot of various different things. So hopefully we can shed some light on that.
Yep, through our podcast.
Yeah.
Today, we're going to be talking about buying a house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very similar to our anti-contractor home stuff, but we were talking about a house and like how to make it more suitable for us and
more user-friendly.
Yeah, DIY friendly and very much against you having to use a contractor. You should know about how your house works.
Yeah.
But
today, we're going to be talking about the 3 options we have seen when it comes to buying a house, whether it's buying a house that you need to renovate, a house that has been renovated or flipped, or buying new construction.
Yes. Yeah, those are I'm sure there's various other categories, but
we've tried to condense them into these 3.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because we're in the process of moving out of this house. And
are we?
We probably said that a year ago during our last podcast.
Yeah. To be fair, we stopped our podcast like peak quarantine, so
that's true.
It was like,
so let's blame the quarantine.
All hell broke loose. So
yeah,
we just had to stop. I mean, we were so still stuck in our house, and we could have been doing it, but we've switched gears. Yeah. So we're talking about houses. What to know when it comes to buying a house and what we like, what we don't like, how we feel about them. I mean, they all have their advantages and disadvantages, really. We have some siblings that have had some experiences with both.
All 3 categories.
Yeah. Actually, buying a flipped house, I don't think anyone has really done that.
That's true.
But we've looked at some.
We've looked at some.
When we were looking for this, when we were looking at houses and eventually found this one.
Which is our first home.
Right. We looked at so many flipped homes and we just got jaded from it.
Yeah.
Really. I mean, everything was the same.
Yeah. Gray walls.
Yeah.
Glass style backsplash. Anyway.
Yeah.
All right. So should we start with our...
I would say we're jumping ahead. That's what, category 2?
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
all right. So should we start with our first category?
Yeah. First category is what I'm calling a fixer-upper. And no, I don't mean the TV show, because apparently that's also called fixer-upper.
Mm-hmm.
Though I don't think that show's on anymore.
I don't know. I feel like they've come back on Disney Plus. I think they have a new contract with Disney Plus.
Doing the same show?
Yeah.
Wow, that's cool. We've been to Waco.
We have.
We didn't go to the houses, though. We went to the grain silos. Yeah, that was pretty cool.
It was.
It's really
we didn't wait in line to go to the bakery because that was a 2-hour long wait.
I got a friend who, well, his friends went to the bakery and they got in line at like 5 o'clock in the morning and they managed to get somehow. And I don't know, maybe in New York it's worth it for some of those places, but
like Dominique Anzel's bakery, I would wait in line for that. But these pastries now
for the Magnolia Bakery. Who's cooking them? Who's the chef?
Yeah.
Is
Joanna
the chef, and Chip I don't know what he does. He plays the guitar, right?
He plays the guitar?
I don't know. When we were there, he had like a CD on sale or something. They write books. They do everything.
They truly
great.
Are
Renaissance people.
Yeah. And what they've done for the entire town, revitalized it and made a name for themselves. It's amazing. So this house that we bought at the end of 2018, very end, December, this hadn't been touched much. It's a 60-year-old home. It still had like 40-year-old wallpaper. The bathrooms looked really outdated. But there were certain renovations, like the windows.
Yeah, the windows were double pane.
Yeah. Which
was nice. The floor had just been redone. Unfortunately, it wasn't the same flooring throughout, which bothers me.
Yeah.
Some of it is a glue-down laminate. Other parts are a floating floor. Yeah, so it sounds hollow in some parts, and then it sounds...
yeah, it's not ideal.
What's the opposite of hollow? Unhollow in the other spots.
Solid.
Yeah, it sounds more solid. But then whenever you step on one of the glue-down pieces where the glue is come up, it sounds hollow as well.
Yeah, I would stay away from glue-down.
Yeah. Yeah,
absolutely
had to tear some of it up.
Yeah, someone in the comments on my last videos asked me, because I had shown a quick clip of you removing the glue down flooring right there. And they said, he's going through the same process right now, and asked me what I used. And I was like, I used hot water, a chisel, X-Acto blade, what is that? A hand planer. And a lot of time.
Yeah.
Like there's not one tool that
the pry bar as well.
The pry bar. Yeah. My gosh. Anyway. So I'd choose floating floor over this.
That was a mess. Yeah. If you ever want to replace it.
And we only had to clean up like 2 planks. That's it. Imagine having to clean up this
6 square feet, probably. Maybe less.
Horrible.
Yeah. I can't imagine ripping out the rest of it.
I mean, removing the tile was easier.
Yeah.
Anyway. So some of the work that we did was removing the glue down flooring in certain areas. Putting down new floors, the tiles in the bathroom, completely renovating the bathroom. I have some images of that on my Instagram page. And we did do foundation work. That was the first thing we did.
Redoing some cased openings, removing some doors, and actually reframing them out, actually adjusting some openings to make them a little bit bigger.
Yep. We had foundation works. We had massive cracks in the wall.
Oh, yeah. So drywall work throughout the house.
Yeah. So that was not fun. Mm-hmm. We officially hate drywall.
But one thing this house had that a lot of the houses we went to didn't have was cabinets that were in good shape and not painted.
Oh, my gosh, yes.
That's one of the things.
Painted cabinets and painted brick. I hate both of them.
Yes. Your pet peeves. I'm not so against painted brick, but the painted cabinets,
especially when it's like a thick coat of paint, and you can see that it's just like cheap MDF behind it that's just been painted so you don't see any wood grain and nothing. It's just and it's just going to start peeling off. Ugh.
Yeah.
Anyway,
so those are some of the things.
Yeah. So there was work to be done, but the bones of the home were really good. And we could see the potential. We could see what it could become. It wasn't overwhelming. But then there are other homes like what we visited today.
Mm-hmm.
That was one heck of a fixer-upper.
Yeah. And I think if you want to do the fixer-upper, I know a lot of couples or people that buy their first home, they think, hey, I'm going to renovate the whole thing, whether they have experience in construction or not. It's just,
which we didn't.
Yeah. It's just something that everybody likes to try.
Yeah. Everyone in the States
likes to try.
Because labor is so expensive here. And
that's true. That's a good point.
Yes. So the idea of doing it all yourself and like watching YouTube videos or watching TV shows, it doesn't seem that difficult. It seems doable. And buying, that's another thing. I have this video out. I'm sorry, I keep referencing the videos, but it's good content. good references.
Wait till I start referencing my videos. Then people should be scared.
Anyway, so I have that video on 10 tools under $25 or something like that.
Yeah.
So someone left a comment on that saying that they live in Asia. And he's saying it's funny, the cost of all these tools is more than me just going down the street and hiring someone to do the work for me.
Oh, wow.
So that's like no, and I thought of that as like back in Dubai, nobody owned all those tools. Nobody had a jigsaw and we had a hammer maybe. And
very few people owned houses too.
Yeah, yeah. But that was back then when you weren't allowed to own a house.
They did not have the American dream.
Yeah.
One house, 2-car garage, all that jazz.
But labor is so expensive here that everyone buys tools. That's why Home Depot and Lowe's are so popular. Back there, you have Ace hardware stores that are moderately popular, but DIYing is not that big of a thing.
I never considered that. I don't have that perspective.
Yeah.
So
that's why you're Mira.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So we're talking about fixing up a home. I think you kind of have to have that. You're either a young couple or individual person that has an interest in getting something. A lot of times it's getting something on the cheap, really. That's the only way, especially in today's market, to get something that is reasonable in price.
Yeah.
And that is to find something that needs a lot of work.
Yeah.
But to do that, you have to have the vision as well. You have to sort of know, you have to see the potential in it. And I wasn't as quick as you to see the potential in this house.
Yeah, I fell in love with it when you walked in.
Yeah, you did. And I couldn't quite understand it. I mean, I liked it, but it was more expensive than the other houses we were looking at. It hadn't been flipped, didn't have all these new appliances and everything, didn't have a brand new air conditioner or water heater or any of that stuff.
It was more expensive than the other houses?
It was, yeah.
That had been flipped?
Yeah.
Oh.
Because we were looking in different areas.
Oh,
we were trying to keep
yeah.
ourselves under a certain price point.
It's true.
And we just, like last minute, we decided, hey, what if we went over that? We could get something a little nicer, a little bit more fixed up. And sure enough, we got something that was not fixed up.
No.
But it did have good potential, and it really worked out.
Yeah, it's charming, I think, compared to those other homes we saw.
How do you know what kind of person would want a fixer-upper?
I think it's, like you said first, budget. That's a big thing. If you're constrained by a very strict budget. If you have plenty of money and you realize that your money or your time and your money can be put to better use, you wouldn't care with flipping a home.
Yeah, I think
by yourself. I mean, if you're an investor, like Graham Stephen, he flips homes, but I'm sure he has someone doing it for him.
Yes,
he's not going to be doing it himself. But that's a different kind of.
Right, we're talking homeowners. In
yes,
general.
homeowners.
Like you're going to renovate it yourself. You're going to live in it.
Yeah,
you're not looking to make a quick buck.
Yeah,
those are more the fixer-upper, those are more the flipped homes.
Yes, which I guess we should move into that category now.
Yeah, we can briefly discuss each briefly.
So flipped homes would be
just go on Zillow and look at anything. I mean, it's
very hard to not find one of those.
Yeah, it's like a home built in the 60s or 70s that looks brand new. Yeah, it's a flipped home. Basically, what they do is they just
blow out the wall between the kitchen and the living room.
Yes, for a more open concept.
Paint everything gray. Paint the brick too if they can, if it's a brick siding.
Put some gray flooring down.
Gray flooring.
Gray walls. Some white baseboards.
And then flushed lights.
Yes, flush mount lights, can lights.
Can lights everywhere.
And some daylight white lights as well throughout the house to give it that gray, cool feel.
Yeah.
And
That's
we looked at a ton of those houses, and we put offers in on multiple. They were all taken by the time our offer was
everyone
in.
offered higher than asking.
Yeah,
which is why I bought this one.
Yeah, which on the surface they look nice. Those homes, they've been completely gutted. They look like a brand new home. I mean, it's nice to see brand new
There are some
appliances.
dangers to it too. Like exactly what you said. It's makeup. It's makeup put onto a home.
Absolutely. I think that's something that people need to be aware of.
Yes, because whenever you have drastic work like foundation done, like we had 22 piers on this house, and we fixed all the drywall cracks and everything. And 2 years later, we can see the cracks appearing.
Yeah, just not all
minor.
of them, just a couple of them.
Minor.
Because we didn't do that good of a job.
But you don't know how competent the people were who flipped your home. At first glance, it could be a great home. But once you actually buy it and move into it, then you're like, wow, these people really didn't do such a great job.
When things start going wrong.
Yeah.
But that's something that you deal with any home, I think.
Even with new construction too. Yeah.
Or old homes. I know, like us with this house, I was shocked with how clean the walls were whenever we
opened it up.
Yeah, the stud cavities were.
Yeah.
I was amazed for a 60-year-old home.
And the attic too. There were no dead animals up there.
Yeah. But
rodents.
Lots of times people will they have these big ambitions of renovating or something, and they start to do something and it opens up a can of worms.
Matt Reisinger.
Oh, he mentions that?
No, that's what he did. I mean, he bought that home in Austin.
Oh, okay.
With ambitions of renovating it for on a tight budget. Started opening up the walls, found rat carcasses and all these rodents and mold, and the attic was so bad, and he had to tear it down completely to the foundation.
That's a tough thing to look for. I mean, that guy's a professional builder, and he didn't see that.
Yeah.
Is that just sort of get a good inspector?
Yeah, or did he buy it sight unseen or something?
Yeah, that's true. I mean,
it's Austin.
The better the price is, the more suspicious you should be, perhaps.
Yeah.
But so a lot of these things that open up cans of worms, I think that these flippers, and I mean, we've been guilty of it as well, is sort of you just cover it up, and as long as it's covered up, you don't have to deal with it.
What's an example?
What's an example of that? I'm thinking like the back behind our stove, there was what's the laminate countertop?
Yeah.
For the backsplash. When you tore that off, there was like an old mount for an old microwave back behind there, and then all these massive holes in the drywall behind that. It's like, what was going on here before?
Yeah.
And so we had to end up tearing that whole thing out and redoing all the drywall back there, which was not what we were planning to do.
That's true.
We thought we'd just be able to take that off and then do a backsplash or something.
Yeah. I see. Yeah, you uncover problems, and it's never what was the one thing I said? We learned to stop saying this is not going to take long. Yeah. Yeah, we started everything. We're like, oh, this is a small project. It's not going to take that long.
Yes.
Ended up taking 2 weekends.
Every day it was, okay, all we have to do is this one thing, and we get started on it, and it's dark. And this was during the summer when the sun actually stayed out.
Yeah.
Past 6 o'clock.
But we learned what to look for. Like if we do buy a flipped home, we've gone through the process of flipping one, so we know what to look for.
But I don't think we would buy a flipped home.
Nah, it's just not our style. It seems like any soul has just been painted out of these homes.
Yeah.
There's no character. Just everything seems the same.
I love the character of some older homes.
Yeah.
And you lose that with the flipped house.
Mm-hmm.
You really do. It turns into a Chip and Joanna house.
Yeah.
Which is... Aren't people tired of that style yet?
The problem is, in their shows, they kind of add character through decor. Either like if it's the shiplap walls or
that's what I was thinking. I was like, they do that wall.
Yeah, the shiplap wall, or even when they set up their home, stage their home with the knickknacks they put on the tables and the furniture and all that stuff. But you remove all of that, and it's just a typical home. Mm-hmm. The character is missing.
Yeah, because everything's been painted over.
Yeah.
And they've, I assume they like tear out all the kitchen cabinets and just go buy some MDF cabinets and replace them.
I don't know. I
those.
Haven't watched enough of those shows, but the few that we did, it's just you lose that. Like with our cabinets, we kept them because there was some character to them. We didn't paint them. And I like that. I mean, I'm sure the next person who comes in here is probably going to tear them all out.
Yeah.
But there's some character to them.
Mm-hmm. And that's what we're looking for in a new home as well.
Yeah.
A little bit of character, because we run into the predicament of you either look
and
for
it's not just stupid things like, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but removing an old door and turning that into a barn door. That's not character. That's superficial.
Mm-hmm.
There's a difference between the two, I think.
Yes, but I feel like a barn door on a ranch style home out in the country works.
Yeah.
A barn door in a suburb
just doesn't make sense.
Doesn't make sense. Yeah.
I hate barn doors. I hate the way they move. I hate how jiggly they are. I hate that they don't actually seal anything behind it. Barn doors on bathrooms are ridiculous. But anyway, that's a different topic.
So there are two types. Whenever you're going looking for a house, lots of times you'll either see the flipped home, which is the old home that's just been completely grayed out, let's call it, or you have the option of getting the typical suburban home. And because we were talking about character in a home, and you either have the old home that has potential and some character, like you would think it would have character, but then on the inside it's sterile.
Yeah, sterile. That's a very good word for flipped homes.
Then you go into the suburbs and all those homes are the same.
Yeah. And
there's no character within those, even though they try to pitch all this different character in their model homes. Mm-hmm. But they're all exactly the same. I mean, it's just like, which floor plan do you want? Okay, well, your neighbor has the flipped version of your house.
Yeah.
And I don't mean flipped as in renovated. I mean flipped as in mirrored.
Mirrored, yeah. It's funny you say that because every single house on this street and that street and this entire area around here is this same floor plan.
That is true. Wow, I walked right into that one. Yeah, that is weird because
I mean, all the way 3 streets down, even close to the airport, it's still the same.
It's all just L-shaped houses.
L-shaped houses.
Yeah.
Are we being hypocrites?
Oops. I think we are. Mm. So that's a little bit about some flipped homes.
Yeah.
What about new construction?
That is, I guess there are 2 paths you can take from what we have seen. Either you go with this a mass builder. I'm not even going to say custom. It's a mass builder. Mm-hmm. Puts up thousands of homes in this area all year round. Or you go the luxury high-end route with a builder who puts up maybe 100 homes a year or something. Like really high-end homes.
Like a custom home builder?
Yeah, custom home builder.
Versus a developer?
I hate to use the word custom because there are people who design homes and build a home in a suburb and they say we're designing our
They're
home.
all custom. Yeah.
They're custom homes.
You look on Zillow, everything's a custom home.
What does that even mean anymore?
It's true.
You're just picking a floor plan and changing a few things in the floor plan, calling it custom.
Yeah, to me, a custom home is not one in a neighborhood.
Yes, so that's the luxury.
Okay.
I would call them like a luxury higher end home.
Okay.
That would actually be a custom home to me.
Okay. I agree.
Not the typical home in the suburbs.
Not a model home.
We are kind of sickened by the typical home in the suburbs because we've seen one recently under construction. We saw how sloppy they were.
Is that the reason you're sick of them?
Well, no, there are lots of things. It's the scale of the homes. They feel, again, they lack any sort of soul.
They're massive.
They're massive. I mean, like 4,000 square feet for a family of 4.
Yeah. Everybody gets a bathroom?
Everybody gets a bathroom. Again, different times, but we grew up in a 2-bedroom tiny apartment with 4 people. And it's such wasted space. And this goes, so I'm making that video on green hypocrisy now. This is prime example of that. Like, oh, we're sealing our home, we're going to reduce air conditioning costs, but it's still a 3,000 or 4,000 square foot home for a family of 4.
Right.
How is that green? How is that eco-friendly?
It's like, hey, I can pay
it's a green home.
The same electric bill that I paid in my old house, but I can have twice the square footage.
Yeah.
I think, to me, I know homes aren't built great. No home is really built that great, unless it is a custom builder.
Yes.
But like, even this house, it's one of 50 in this area.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm sure it was just thrown up. Yeah, they may have had a little bit better use of material or quality control back then or something, because this house is still standing. I don't know if those newer homes are going to be standing in 60 years.
Yeah. It's like with every 10 years, the quality of homes just seems to get worse and worse and worse.
Yeah. I dislike about new construction is that it's in these neighborhoods, they're soulless. They're all about how steep can my roof be?
Yeah, my gosh, the roofs.
How many gables can there be?
But we were a lot more cynical about suburban homes before, especially in architecture school. That's what you're taught. You're taught that suburbs are soulless.
Mm-hmm.
But after seeing what our siblings, all our siblings live in the suburbs, and they're perfectly happy, and there's a reason why. There's a reason why it works for them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they have kids, they have a school within walking distance
they
or
have
short driving distance. They have neighbors.
Kids.
Their kids can just play out on the street.
Mm-hmm.
They have a community pool. They have, like, all their neighbors have kids around the same age, and they grow up together. There's that sense of community there, which is lacking in our area here because everyone's like an older generation.
Yeah, that's true.
So
I'm sure it was that way here.
Yes,
like
back
30, 40 years ago, maybe.
So when we say soulless, we mean soulless from an architecture design perspective.
Absolutely.
But not soulless from a community perspective.
Mm-hmm.
They work.
Which is also something architects should consider.
Exactly. I agree.
I mean, you could compare the soullessness of suburbs to Le Corbusier's monolithic high-rise structures that were meant to be community structures as well.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're very similar in the sense that they're soulless.
Yeah.
And those didn't work.
Mm-hmm.
I agree that these suburban neighborhoods work as far as bringing together community. Really do.
I don't think they're green, or the suburban sprawl is a big issue.
Is it an issue?
Well, why not?
I mean, as technology gets better, it's easier for us to telecommute, and
yes,
I mean, we've grown over this last year, and we understand that people can work from home much more easily. So it's suburbanism, or the suburban flight, should be more prevalent.
That's true.
And I feel that is the case.
Yeah, I mean, you could be working for a company in New York and living in Texas.
Yeah.
You know, it's really interesting. Someone, again, so how many times am I going to say this? Someone left a comment, but someone did leave a comment. A home inspector.
Interaction.
Yeah. The home inspector left a comment on a recent video about condensation. And he's been getting calls over the last year about condensation issues in people's homes. And he said people don't realize that with this entire family, kids, parents working in the house, stuck in the house all day long with their blackout curtains and windows closed, and that the amount of moisture and relative humidity in the homes is increasing, and their air conditioning is not keeping up, or their HVAC units is not designed for this
24/7 usage. Yeah.
Yes, that's very interesting.
Sense. Yeah.
So people have to consider that.
Yeah, I do think that homes are changing. What people want out of homes is changing, especially over this last year.
Yeah.
People are much more interested in having, much less interested in dining rooms and much more interested in home offices.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we'll start to see a transition of
larger home offices.
Yes.
I think.
Maybe even live workspaces separating the two.
Yeah. I agree. And integrated mail drop-off boxes. I don't know why that's not already a thing. Does that not make sense?
Integrated mail drop-off boxes?
Yeah.
Like Amazon?
Oh, no, USPS, FedEx, whatever. Just something next to your front door, like with a key code, integrated in your home so it doesn't look like just a box bolted to your foundation. Behind a brick wall or whatever, that they can key in this code, it drops it off. You know, it's similar to when you drop off mail. You can't pick anything out of it. Like once you drop it in, it slides back and it's behind there.
Yes.
So do that with boxes. You put the box in, it slides back, it's in your home. And once you close it, it's locked up.
They have that kind of thing with the...
Like Costco sells something like that, but it's like a separate box that you can bolt outside your home.
You're
like
saying
a safety box.
Inside your home?
It's integrated. It's part of your home.
Oh,
Everyone
okay.
is buying stuff online. Why is that not part of homes nowadays?
Yeah, that's true. We should adapt.
And I mean, mail theft is such a big deal. You have the ring system that's really helping, but why not just go a step further
and start integrating it into your home?
It frustrates me. Because you have to constantly monitor, like, 10 stops away. Oh, they're knocking on the door. Oh, let's get it right away let's get our package before it's stolen.
I hate to say it, but we've even cut vacations short to come home to pick up packages.
No, it's true. We did that once, yeah.
Yeah. And it was just like the night before.
Yeah.
But it was an important package. I don't remember what it was.
Yeah. Anyway.
So we have some family members who have bought a lot. Like we said, this is our first home.
Yeah.
We did renovations on the home. We're looking.
So that would fall in the first category.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're looking for another home to put some work into.
Mm-hmm.
But every time we get close to that, finding the right house, we start to think, how much work do we really want to put into it?
Yes. And how much time is this going to take?
Yes. And that
because the position we are in right now is very different than what we were in 2 years ago. We have other interests.
I feel like we have more time at home now, but I think that's just the nature of the world right now.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about we have other interests that take up our time, and in our minds we're like, can our time be put to better use?
Yeah, and
we don't trust contractors enough to hire them.
That's what I think a lot of people, we were talking about the suburbs earlier, our siblings that live in the suburbs, they want a nice home, but they weren't trained as architects. They're not really thinking about the spaces too much.
Yeah.
They're saying, how much storage does it have? Are my appliances new?
What's the school district?
Where can I put the kids' toys?
Yeah,
absolutely. School district. Things like that. They're content. The suburbs like check all those boxes.
Yeah.
They don't really care if the outside of the house looks exactly like 2 houses down.
Mm-hmm.
To them, it's got everything they want.
And they personalize the inside with stuff
mm-hmm.
because that would make them happy. There's nothing wrong with that.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. But if you go with the luxury build, custom home, the new construction, then those are the people who hire designers. And I don't know, there are some people who actually have a vision of what they want their home to be.
Mm-hmm.
And usually it's like vague ideas, and then it's the designer who comes up with, this is what you really need. This is what you want. I'm telling you what you want. Sure. But that's different, where you have the home is more of a priority. not just the stuff inside it, the home itself, the layout of the spaces, and
that's when you made it.
That's when you made it. Yeah.
Like I was saying, our siblings have some experience with doing both renovations and getting new construction, and they really jumped off the renovation bandwagon pretty quick after they did it with once or twice. Yeah, it's all right. Let's move on. Let's get something that's complete, so I don't have to worry about it. And maybe it's an age thing too. Well,
but both of them who we're talking about, they both did the renovation before they had kids.
Absolutely, yeah.
When they had kids, then their priorities changed, and
absolutely.
It was, we don't have time. We don't have time to go through what we did with the kid or two kids. We need a completed home.
Yeah.
I think that played a huge factor.
Okay, so first question you should ask yourself is, do you have kids? You should probably know that.
Yeah.
So thanks for listening in to us ramble on about some buying a house and the potential options there are out there.
Yeah.
And join us next time as we continue this discussion.
Yeah, and if you have anything that you're interested in or anything that you want us to talk about, curious about our design past or
if there's any questions you have for Belinda in particular, just about what made her decide to go down the path she's going down, or
just leave us comments and we'll address them in future podcasts.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Thanks. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.